All right, what's going on? We're going to jump into doing the CO2 cartridge. All right, so a few different things we should consider on this one. Just like many of the parts that we make, there's not one way to do this. What I'm trying to do is utilize all of these tools to ensure that realistically you're learning many of the devices that make your life easier. Okay, so I'm going to focus on revolve for this shape. Some general dimensions that we're going to want to make sure we are doing 65 millimeters from back to front. We have let's see, a shell thickness of 1.75. That'll be important. um, and let's see, we have a radius of 10 millimeters. So let's get working on this. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to draw the top half of this, and then we're going to use revolve to spin it in a circle. Okay. So we'll have to do some math every now and again, but overall, once you see how this works, this is not so bad. All right. So first things first, let's start with a sketch. On the front view, we are going to draw I like to start with the line that we're going to revolve around. I think that's the most helpful. So I'm going to hit L for that. This is just going to be a construction line. I'm actually going to make this 70 millimeters. I'm going to right click and make that a construction line. The reason I'm making it 70 millimeters is because I want to make sure that everything fits within 65, right? So let's take a look at what we're doing. We're going to start with an arc. And a lot of times you can choose to you can do this a lot of different ways. Okay. If you want to draw and dimension after, you absolutely can do that. It had a diameter of 10, so a radius of 5. We are going to have 30 millimeters, so I'm going to draw a line here that is 30 millimeters. Okay, I am going to have let's see, a distance from here to here, which is another arc. That's going to be 6.5 millimeters. So I'm going to go back to the arc. And we are going to draw an arc here. I'll dimension that after. I am sorry, that's not 6.5 millimeters. There's actually no dimension there. 16.002, it looks like. So let's do 6.5 on the line here. Okay, so 6.5 on the line there. And then we're going to go 3.5 down. Is that making sense? It looks like it. Realistically, I am just going to draw this line down to here, and that makes sense because it's at 3. Okay, so really what I want to make sure is going on, let's see, 99. This looks to be, we need to make this longer. 0.5, no. Okay, so that's actually distance. That's not the radius, so I need to undo that. Okay, what I'm going to do is offset this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this entire thing, and you're going to realize that it makes an identical copy all the way around. Okay, so the reason this is very important is because now I just saved myself so much time instead of having to redraw all of that. Okay, and so I'm going to make this 1.75 as my offset. Okay, we'll finish that piece there in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So this radius needs to definitely come down. But once we close this idea, I'll lose a tiny bit there. Some sloppy CAD, but at the end of the day, we're still getting the CO2 cartridge that we want. Okay, and the second that gets filled in, that's an important detail. All right, that means that I have closed the profile shape. And that's going to allow us to use the revolve that we're after. All right, so revolve is pretty important for this individual piece because I have a profile that's already selected, and then that axis that I had before is now going to be here. All right. What I've found is a lot of students get caught by drawing the line and they'll make it a solid. You want to make sure you don't do that, right? Because we want that to revolve like so. If you do revolve the entire solid, what you're going to want to make sure you do is apply the shell. Where's shell? You're going to want to apply the shell property. Okay. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, this is going to allow you to see what I mean, right? We have to have air inside of this, okay? So if it's not shelled out, it's not actually accurate, all right? So we are just about done. We have a small fillet to apply here. Looks like it is 2 millimeters, so let's make that 1. And that's going to be our CO2 cartridge. All we got to do is rename it. Let's go ahead and come out here to rename. You call it the CO2 cartridge. And let's give it the properties of aluminum. And we are done. Not appearance, I apologize. Aluminum. Go to materials, metals, and there's aluminum. Right click, let's take a look at our physical properties, and we are good. So that's going to help you knock that part out. Like I said, looking forward to seeing what you create.